Good evening, and you may be seated. Welcome to Gilmer County High School's commencement exercises for the graduating class of 2024. I am Daniel Reed, school counselor. Joining me on stage are Dr. Tony Minnie, superintendent, Mr. Brandon Payne, principal, Mr. Nathan Haynes, assistant principal, Board of Education members, Cody Moore, Dustin Freshour, Dr. Hillary Miller, Brett Chapman, and Dr. Jason Barr. Last, I want to recognize the faculty and staff in attendance tonight who have helped the students before us attain their goals. Vice President and Secretary of the class, Alina Gray, and Kylie Richards will now lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Alina is the daughter of Frederick and Allison Gray of Tanner, and Kylie is the daughter of Dominic Armstrong of Normantown. Please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Although most of the scholarships and awards were announced during our senior assembly, there are a few that were not. I would like to announce the students that have been awarded the Sue Morris Scholarship. Please stand as I call your name. Grant Butler. Bailey Frazier. Blake Foster. Colton Hall. And Stevie Starsick. Thank you. You may be seated. We would also like to recognize the following students that have been awarded the Promise Scholarship. Kara Anderson. Micah Blake. Jocelyn Brenwald. Grant Butler. Colton Hall. Christopher Junkins. Morgan Putnam. Sydney Sprouse. And Stevie Starsick. This year's valedictorian is Michaela Taylor. Michaela is the daughter of John and Lacey Taylor of Glenville. Michaela.
Good evening, esteemed scholars and persistent procrastinators. As I stand here today, mere minutes away from walking that stage and getting that sweet, sweet diploma, I can't help but to reflect on the truly unique ride we have all shared and navigated as a class. Between a global pandemic, many administration changes, countless bomb threats, Mother Nature coming to keep us in check every once in a while, and so much more, we have faced some wacky battles. While we could look back on these moments, sulk, and wonder what could have been, I feel as if we should look at what we as a whole managed to make out of these less than ideal times instead. We are, in my humble professional opinion, one of the funniest groups of people I've ever had the pleasure of meeting. Seriously, if the day job doesn't work out, we all could fall back onto the profession of comedy. This comedic genius tends to come to fruition in a multitude of unconventional ways that definitely makes teachers question our sanity, but we, quite frankly, do not care. We are always down to go the extra mile to accomplish something spontaneous and goofy, fostering an environment that alleviates some social pressure and expectations. This is something that is heavily needed in what feels like an extended time period of external crisis. While this character attribute has been responsible for some questionable actions from many students, myself included, I wholly believe this ability can be utilized in the big kid world, with some polishing and maturing, obviously. As we turn the page into the next chapter of our lives, I deeply encourage each and every one of you to never, ever lose the ability to make something fun and memorable out of something so monotonous and cyclical. At the end of the day, you probably won't remember what the phospholipid bilayer is, sorry Travis Fisher, or any of your trig values, please don't shoot me, Miss Dooley. But you do remember that time that we completely stopped speech class in order to honor our country and play the national anthem on kazoos. Or when we staged a walkout over the Icky Juniors winning the Spirit Stick. Or whenever Blake Foster decided to brush his teeth in the middle of our reading circle. I could probably go on for days, but you get the point. The GCHS class of 2024 is unfamiliar with the term conventional. While obviously it is important to conduct yourself with grace and professionalism in situations that call for such, it is also important to be able to let loose and have a little fun. Without the goofy and not so serious side of high school life, I don't think anyone would have been able to stand those cinder block walls, linoleum flooring, and polar temperatures for as long as we did. Not only do I want to thank my fellow peers for making this journey a fun one, all things considered, I want to congratulate them as well. We dedicated 13 years of our lives to our schooling, and this fact is not something to be undermined. To put it into perspective, that is 2,340 days, 56,160 hours, 3,369,600 minutes, or according to my calculations, a metric crap load of seconds spent dedicated to learning, or approximately how much time it would take to complete one singular Monopoly game if you wish to think of it that way. This figure also assumes that you showed up to quite literally every single day of school that you could have possibly had, which, let's be real here, no one does that, so it is definitely less. Regardless, no matter which lens you gaze upon 13-ish years through, it is still an incredible amount of time and commitment to ask from literal adolescents. I can probably speak for most, if not all, whenever I say I genuinely thought about using the tried and true Miss White method of crying, going to the board office, getting those dropout papers, filling them out, and just giving up forever. However, we persevered long enough to finally reap the rewards and see over the other side of the rocky, unforgiving, debatably torturous mountain we spent all this time and energy to climb. The view is magnificent, and the sun is finally out and showering us in warm golden rays, and I hope each and every one of you take the time to admire it. We are all deserving of celebrating, cherishing, and commemorating this monumental moment in our lives, so seize the moment and enjoy it. My bad. While this is a huge milestone, with the passing of time, even better is sure to come. We are just now dipping our toes into the pool of adult life, and we still have an ocean's worth of territory left to explore. Like Dory says, just keep swimming. You'll make it there eventually. And just to attest to how unserious our class is, we were 1,000% going to stop this ceremony in order to wish Miss Jones a happy birthday with a discordant serenade. For those of you who don't know, it's not anywhere close to her birthday. We just have a long-standing joke of singing to her. But lucky for all you guys, she decided to skip graduation in total fear of what we had in store for her. She says she's spending quality time with her niece, but we see right through her, and we encourage everyone else to follow suit. Thank you, and once again, congratulations to the Gilmer County High Cool graduating class of 2024.
Thank you, Michaela. This year's salutatorian is Stevie Starsick. Stevie is the daughter of Okie and Pam Starsick of Cox's Mills. Stevie.
Welcome, guests, family, faculty, staff, students, and fellow graduates. As we gather here this evening to celebrate the accomplishments of the class of 2024, I can't help but think about the fact that I may never see some of you again. Many of us are going off to college, trade school, the military, and many other directions. Many of us have been classmates since the 5th grade, and some even earlier. It's crazy to think about how fast time flies. They say time flies when you're having fun. Well, I don't know how much fun you guys had, but I wouldn't classify it all as fun. To say I'm proud of this class for overcoming and conquering would be an understatement, but I can't wait to see what you are all capable of and what you will all accomplish in this scary thing we call life. Earning the title of salutatorian, I'm very honored and I'm very proud of myself. Being a student athlete, keeping up with school was sometimes quite difficult. Juggling homework and studying with games and practices all year long becomes draining. The late nights because of games and sometimes early mornings to put in extra work make the 7-hour school day all the more tiresome. But putting forth my best effort in the classroom and on the court or field was all worth it, and I don't regret a single minute of it. I know as much as I hated it all in the moment, I will miss it all the more in the future. But as of right now, I'm beyond relieved, and I am sure many of you can relate to that feeling. Now, I wasn't born an athlete. In fact, I was quite unathletic when I was younger. But if any of you managed to attend any volleyball, basketball, or softball games this past year, you would have noticed that I developed a strong suit for being an athlete. But it didn't just happen overnight. It wasn't just the flip of a switch. It was hard work, dedication, blood, sweat, and many tears. Out of the 3 sports I played, basketball was a fan favorite. The stands were packed every home game. The girls I was proud to call my teammates had a bond like no other, and it was very visible from any seat in the gymnasium. Basketball was the most demanding sport I played. It was physically and mentally draining, yet it was the most rewarding. Because of the high popularity of the Lady Titans basketball team, I would often find myself scrolling through pictures on Facebook from the most recent game. One time in particular, I was scrolling through pictures and found a picture of myself shooting a foul shot. Many people would just glance at it and continue scrolling to find a thrilling action shot from a big play, but I sat there admiring this picture. It wasn't because I looked good or my shoe was untied or any silly reason you may be thinking. It was because in the background of this picture, I see the fan base of my team with every single eye on me. Mind you, this picture only had half of the crowd in it. There are many other people on the other half of that crowd, people who stand at the doorway and watch, not to mention the crowd of the opposing team. But it is a safe assumption to say that 98% of the eyes in the room are on me. As I sat there thinking about being in the moment of shooting that foul shot, not a single time do I think about all the eyes on me. I think about doing my job. I focus on making the foul shot, doing my part, and benefiting my team. Now, I'm not saying this to get a chance to brag on my team and how good we were, although we were pretty good. I'm saying this because after that realization hit me, I then began to think of all the things that the game of basketball taught me about life and how we can apply them once we have to face the real world. First of all, like I said, all the eyes were on me, but that didn't cross my mind once. What was on my mind was doing my job, and how crucial is that? In life, you can't think about who may be judging you, who might be putting you down, and examining your every move. You need to focus on your job, doing it to the best of your ability, and being proud of your best effort. People judge. It's what they do best. They put others down in hopes of making themselves feel better, because being egotistical is a character trait up and rising. But don't let them put you down. And don't stoop to their level, but rather use it as a stepping stool. Take the high road and be the better person. If you know what you are capable of, set your mind to it, and don't let anything or anyone stop you or slow you down. Another applicable lesson I learned was putting in the work. Now, basketball isn't the only sport that taught me this. Being an athlete in general was the greatest self-taught job I ever did. I decided to play sports in the 4th grade, first softball, then I added in basketball, and eventually I joined the volleyball team in 8th grade. Once I began high school, from the beginning of the school year to the end, you would find me at a practice or a game, and in the summertime, I would be at a summer workout, a basketball or volleyball summer practice, a summer basketball game in Doddridge or St. Mary's, or a volleyball tournament. Every single summer event was optional to attend, and I only missed a handful, all 4 years of high school. As the years went on, I found myself with more playing time, receiving my letters and pins and even some accolades, both LKC and state recognition. Just being there isn't what made the difference. It's the extra time put in that made the difference. It was pushing myself harder every day that made the difference. It was putting in my best effort that made the difference. Slacking isn't going to get you anywhere in life. You won't excel. You won't stand out from the crowd. You'll just be another lazy bum in which the numbers of slackers increases every day. Push yourself. Put in the time, whether it's to get the scholarship, the grades, the job, or even the promotion. Make yourself stand out from the crowd. Make yourself proud. Finally, the most important thing I learned that I found made the difference was finding my support and giving the glory. Without the support of my family, friends, teachers, coaches, and fellow teammates, I would have been able to push myself like I did. Having a support system, knowing there are people there for you, will make it easier because you have those people to fall back on when it gets hard. You'll have those people to encourage you and help you build yourself back up. You'll have those people to lead you and guide you when it gets hard and you don't know what your next move is. Once you find the support, give the glory. Yes, of course, thank the people who are your supporters, but I'm talking about giving the glory to your biggest supporter of all, God. He gave you that ability in the first place. He knows what you're capable of, and he made you with a purpose. The creator of the entire universe, the artist of the beautiful sunsets that everyone stops to take in. The maker of everything good is your biggest supporter, whether you believe it or not. Give him the glory. So here's to us, the class of 2024. I wish nothing but the best for you all in life. I know you are all capable of amazing things. Make yourself proud. Thank you to everyone who has helped us individually and as a class become the people we are today. Thank you.
Thank you, Stevie. This year, Bailey Frazier is the class historian for the graduating class. She will now come forward and present the history of the class of 2024. She is the daughter of Joe and Amber Frazier of Baldwin. Bailey.
What seems like yesterday, most of this class walked into the new Gilmer County School prepared for our first day of 5th grade, thinking how the year 2024 was so far away. It seemed as if it would never come, but now here we all are, sitting together at our high school graduation, with picking up just a new few faces along the way. The start of middle school was quite the transition. We went from being the big kids of elementary school back down to the bottom of the totem pole as little baby 7th graders. It all started with Kara Anderson getting shoved into her locker, not by bullies, but by her friends, just to see if she would fit. She did us a solid, though, and stayed in the locker until Miss Ferguson got done checking out the reported situation of bullying. Luckily, Miss Ferguson did not check the right locker. By the end of 7th grade, we had all built up an immunity to embarrassment, thanks to Miss McLean, making us participate in a shield parade that involved shuffling through the hall, holding our shield up to create a dome, and shouting "charge" at the top of our lungs when instructed to, all during high school lunch. With a year of middle school under our belts, in 8th grade, we thought we had it all figured out. Well, except for getting along. For some reason, none of us could stand each other, which led to an absurd number of fights. In our 14-year-old minds, we thought it would be best to use our fists instead of our words. Not only did this era take a toll on our class, but in the process took down a few teachers. So at this time, we would like to formally apologize to Miss Putnam, Miss Miller, Miss Ferguson, Miss Haley, and any other teacher that has had to break up a fight in our class. Speaking of Miss Haley, remember that time Kylie Richards and I begged you to make white rice in your class? Well, we didn't know how to properly use the rice cooker, but we're too scared to tell you, and at the end of the class period, we took the 2 pounds of not fully cooked white rice that we had attempted to make and threw it away on the trash can on the other side of the school so that you couldn't get mad at us for wasting food. On March 13th of 2020, we all got told we were getting 2 weeks off from school, so this new, unheard of virus could settle down. 2 weeks, then turned into 3, then turned into our 8th grade year ending virtually. When we were finally allowed back to school, we were faced with many challenges, consisting of not only being freshmen, but the struggle of keeping a mask over our nose to be kept from getting written up, and trying how to remember to socially interact with others. Thankfully, we got a lot of fresh air that year, due to all the bomb threats that were received. Not the ideal thought of a field trip, but it's as close as we could get. In between our trips to the Waco Center, we filled up our free time with a fun game of seeing how many times we could stand on a desk and quickly stick a pencil in the ceiling before Miss Ramazan noticed. The answer is 13. We also liked to sneak George Behringer into the classroom and see how long he could hide underneath the front desk until she noticed and would say, "George, where are you supposed to be?" Oftentimes, he would attend the whole class period. In 10th grade, COVID came back for round 2 and spread throughout the class, quarantining almost everyone. While this caused us to lose a few faces to homeschooling, we additionally added a few characters to our class, Colton Hall and Mariah Putnam. This was also the year that crazy ice cream lady showed up as our English teacher, formerly known as Miss Yoder. At the start of 11th grade, little did we know the next 2 years were going to be the best 2 years of high school. We started off the year with an exhilarating, thrilling, inspiring with the code red. This taught us how to desperately defend ourselves and others with anything possible, but while also taking cover and barricading the door with every piece of furniture in the classroom. While everything was resolved, it taught us a life lesson that anything can happen at any given moment and that we must always be prepared. And on a not so serious note, remember that time Mr. Fisher was called into the hallway by the principal in the middle of anatomy class while he was completely barefoot walking around in class? As we looked outside the door, we saw Mr. Fisher making intense eye contact to keep the principal from looking down and seeing his bare toes. That would have led to a lot of questions. After explaining this next series, we all completely understand if you make the decision to never ride with any of the class of 2024 again. It all started with the rumor that Jocelyn Brenwald got life-flighted to the hospital after a nearly fatal fender bender. After all the worries and concerns, Jocelyn came to first period perfectly fine, knowing nothing about being life-flighted. Over the course of senior year, Michaela Taylor has had a total of 6 flat tires. If you ever need a tire change expert, she's your girl. Next was the time that Courtney Thompson, Kylie Richards, and Michaela Taylor decided to give the hill a hug while still in their car. Next was the Battle of Frankie, Sydney Sprouse's car, and the bear definitely left its mark down the side of the car, and it was a stinky one. Or the time that Logan Arden, Skylar Hulse wanted to go swimming so bad that they flipped Logan's truck all the way down the hill into the creek. Then the sad story of Pumpkin, Colton Hall's car. On the way to baseball practice, Colton decided he missed deer season and took out the next poor deer that crossed his path. After a month of brutal work, Pumpkin has returned home. Not too long after that, Stevie Starsick felt bad for the deer population and gave the next little deer a love tap with Helen, her white Honda Civic. I highly recommend staying away from Madison Jarvis while she is driving. I don't know what Stevie Starsick has done to her, but Madison has attempted running over Stevie 3 separate times in and out of her car. And last but not least, my personal favorite, the time Miss Jones was driving a few of us home after a successful night of selling Zools from a West Virginia game, when all of a sudden we were thrown out of our seats to the sound of air coming out of the tire. Don't worry, Miss Jones, that curb should not have been there. Speaking of not being there, I bet Skylar Hulse was wishing Mr. DeWall wasn't there the time Skylar was in the bathroom getting ready to play a prank on one of his friends by mooning them. Then Mr. DeWall walked out of the bathroom stall instead. Mr. DeWall's only response was, "What is your name?" While Skylar thought he had made another friend, it turns out he found himself sitting in detention for 3 days. While many people in this class hunt, they found out for the first time what it was like to be hunted. In March, the senior class started a huge game called Senior Assassination. The way you get out is being shot by a water gun. Now don't you worry, we did not play this game at school. We played this game outside of any school environments. This sent chases all throughout Glenville, not only during the day, but at night too. This game has officially ended, and the last man standing is Alina Gray. A note to a few teachers. Blair Fisher, your 5th grade period class would like to thank you for all the tough love you have put them through. Ms. Cordera, your Spanish 3 thanks you for all the Just Dance battles. And Mr. Hill, your AP Chemistry class greatly appreciates you and your patience when teaching us how to properly chooch. While we believe our class is charming, goofy, funny, bright, and inspiring, it was kind of confusing when we ended up having 4 different principals during our time at attending Gilmer County High School. But in that time, we have achieved an impressive athletic accomplishments, including 1 football playoff appearance, 1 state tournament appearance in volleyball, and 3 state tournament appearances in girls basketball, in which 2 ended in a single A runner-up title. Our class holds great athletes with many LKC and state honors. With our time closing at Gilmer County High School, we want to thank everyone who has helped get us here. Elementary school teachers, middle school teachers, high school teachers, parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, friends, everyone who has impacted our lives and inspired us to get through high school, we say a big thank you. Here's to the class of 2024, our time of all the smiles, laughs, and fights in the hallways, and seeing each other every single day has come to an end. Lastly, Miss Jones, one day we will forgive you for missing our graduation, but today is not that day. Thank you.
Thank you, Bailey. Now, Mr. Brandon Payne will address the class and present it for graduation.
Good evening. Seniors, before we get started, each of you received a small round mirror on your seat. I'd like you to get those out, please. I'd like to express my gratitude to Dr. Minnie, the Board of Education, teachers, and families for joining us tonight and for entrusting me with the privilege of being a part of these students' journey over the past 6 years. My first encounter with this remarkable group was when they were in 7th grade and I had just begun my role as assistant principal at Gilmer County High School. Together, we navigated through schedule changes, the challenge brought on by the pandemic, and of course, most recently, the senior pranks. As we gather here tonight, I invite each of you to take a moment to reflect using the small mirror you were given earlier. Look into it and recognize the battles you've conquered to reach this milestone. Remember your roots, your identity, and the invaluable memories and friendships you've cultivated throughout your time in school. It's important to acknowledge that journey to success has been supported by a community, a village, including your family, friends, and your teachers who have cheered you on every step of the way. Now, as you continue on the journey to adulthood, you will inevitably face new challenges as you bid farewell to the early days of your youth. My advice to you is simple. Lean on your village. Don't hesitate to ask for help when needed, and never underestimate the power of self-reflection. Take a moment to gaze into that mirror and acknowledge the progress you've made, the hurdles you've overcome, and the accomplishments you've already achieved. Each of you will take a different path as you step into the next chapter of your lives. Some will pursue higher education at the college of their choice. Some will enter the workforce directly. Some will enter into a technical school, and others will enlist in the military. Wherever your journey leads you, I extend my heartfelt wishes for success and fulfillment. Congratulations on reaching this significant milestone in your education. The future holds endless possibilities for each of you, and I have every confidence that you will seize them with determination and grace. The world is yours. Now go take it. Thank you. Okay. Seniors, please rise. Dr. Minnie, it is my distinct pleasure to present the Gilmer County High School class of 2024 and certify that each has met the graduation requirements of the West Virginia Board of Education for graduation from a first-class high school and the requirements of the Gilmer County Board of Education for graduation from Gilmer County High School. I would recommend that we bestow upon each a diploma signifying these accomplishments.
With the recommendation of the principal of Gilmer County High School and by the authority vested in me by the Gilmer County Board of Education and the West Virginia Board of Education, I accept your recommendation and confer upon each of you the standard diploma with all rights and privileges and responsibilities thereunto and appertaining.
Graduates, congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a resounding round of applause for the graduating class of 2024. And now, as we practice, if the first row will make its way appropriately to we will begin the process. Kara Elizabeth Anderson. Presenting her diploma will be her mother, Dr. Hillary Miller. Logan Wesley Arden. Dakota Ryan Ball. Garrett Ross Behringer. Lillian Grace Bell. Dakota Victor Lee Bennett. Aiden Christopher Blake. Micah Nicole Blake. Tobias Curtis Bone. Elijah Scott Bourne. Jocelyn Marie Brenwald. Tristan Anthony Burns. Grant Edward Butler. Dyson Patrick Casto. Daniel Wyatt Cottrell. Xander Matthew Davis. Joshua Stephen Fitzwater. Kevin Blake Foster. Madison Lee Frame. Bailey Ray Frazier. Presenting her diploma is her father, Joe Frazier. Emma Rose Frazier. Jody Leanne Frederick. Jaden Tyrone Freeman. Destiny Ann Freimeyer. Kaylee Jade Gibson. Alina Laurel Gray. Colton Walker Hall. Chastity Michaela Hamrick. Samantha Rosalie Hess. Skylar Morning Hulse. Lee David Eisenhardt. Madison Brooke Jarvis. Christopher Wesley Junkins. Sean Walter Lake. Madison Olivia Grace Lloyd. Kira Suzanne Marks. Jordan James McCartney. Preston Junior McCumbers IV. James Adrian McEwen. Destiny Nicole Nolan. Jackson Carter Norman. Caden Thomas Pegg. Catherine Lynn Ferris. Caden Ross Putnam. Mariah Page Putnam. Morgan Thomas Putnam. Kylie Renee Richards. Casey Landon Snyder. Holly Ann Spears. Sydney Grace Sprouse. Don Edward Stanley III. Stevie Lee Starsick. Lindsay Nicole Stump. Ashley Marie Talbot. Logan Ryan Tant. Michaela Lee Taylor. Morgan Rain Taylor. Courtney Grace Thompson. Nathan Michael Tomlin. Sydney Bella Williams. Taryn Grace Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, please join me in congratulating the graduating class of 2024. Now, the class president, Kara Anderson will join us on stage for closing remarks. Kara is the daughter of Dr. Eddie Anderson and Dr. Hillary Miller of Glenville. Kara.
Hello, welcome everyone. I just want to start out by thanking all the friends, family, teachers, and role models that are here today supporting us as we take our final steps as high schoolers. To my fellow graduates, congratulations, we finally made it. Each and every student sitting in these chairs has worked hard, struggled, and in the end, persevered. Now we stand together as a class, united in our accomplishments. We're not just individuals, we're a team, a family and a group of people who have shared countless, timeless memories and experiences. As your class president, I've had the privilege of watching this class grow and change over the past 4 years, and I'm proud to say we've done it together. As we move forward, I would like to remind everyone that this is a new beginning, a starting line, and that the possibilities are endless. The world is so big and full of amazing people, and I, for one, am ready for that challenge. To quote Lady Gaga, "You are the seeds that will grow into a new and different forest that is far more beautiful and loving than the one we live in today." Thank you for everything, class of 2024, and good luck.
Thank you, Kara, and congratulations to the class of 2024. We ask that you wait until the platform party, teachers, and class of 2024 have exited the floor to take pictures on the concourse. Thank you.